Not much else to say other than what we talked about a little bit last night. After going back and watching the film, a lot of those things were confirmed. We played really well defensively. Got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Shazir Malbrew had a outstanding, very active game, as well as Joe Dillon from the end position with good pressure, and that was great to see. I thought our DBs kept them in front of them, had a couple nice pass breakups, and I thought we ran to the ball and played awfully hard. Anytime you can cause 3 turnovers, that was critical, giving our offense a chance to score on a short field. That was really big. But overall, I just thought, it was as good as we thought. Now, a lot of things. You saw some things where we blew some assignments and some things that we've got to improve upon. But the improvement is still there, and so we're hoping to continue building on that. And the great thing for me is we've seen it now 2 weeks in a row. You're starting to see some consistency. It wasn't just maybe a flash in the pan. But nevertheless, they'll have another challenge this week against a wide open attack, and so that'll be a different type of challenge. I know they'll be up for that challenge. And but going back offensively, we did a lot of good things, especially early in the game. I thought Andre Nunez was sharp early. Throughout the game was a little bit up and down, missing some assignments, looking the wrong direction, maybe missing a throw here or there. But I thought our wideouts, when they got the ball, I thought they were very effective, made some big plays. I thought Regis ran the ball hard. We got a little bit inconsistent, but the one thing we did do, though, is every time we got the ball back deep in our own territory, we may not have scored, but we punched the ball out, got a couple of first downs, got it around midfield, and then Sam Geronci was able to pin them deep just about every time. He pinned them inside the 15 4 times. And that has a lot to do with playing good defense, too. When they've got to take it from the 9, he down it twice at the 11. You're talking you got to go 90 yards or plus three series out of the 12 or 13 series in the game. So, we played really good team defense in that respect. And so that was good to see. So we got to go back and still we want to improve in a lot of areas, be a little more efficient. We got to cut down on missed assignments. So we felt like that was one of the main things that hurt us offensively was missed assignments. So we got to be a little more. We got to get some of those things cleaned up this week because we'll have to be fully prepared before we play A-State. Before talking about A-State, I don't have a lot to tell you about those guys. We just got through grading this film this morning and meeting as a staff and talking about the game and our players of the week and our champions and the plan for this afternoon. So our players will be coming over this afternoon. So we're just now beginning to start looking at Arkansas State and moving forward in that direction. One thing of note, though, Elijah Mitchell's everything was confirmed. What we didn't want to hear, but he will have surgery on his foot and he will be out for the year. And so, but we're optimistic that we'll have him back early January for all-season workouts. So, with that, any questions?
Malbrew's emergency, has he been just showing that in practice that he's earning more playing time?
A little bit, yeah. He's been a guy he's played a little bit in the past, a little bit sparingly, but he's a junior now, getting just a little older. He's got a little more maturity to him than some other guys, and he's a guy that's an overachiever. He's not a scholarship player, and that to me even says more about what he's gone through, and he's been in our program a long time, and I was really proud of him to have that type of game.
Coach, first of all, how did Elijah hurt the foot, and how does your running game differ now without him?
Yeah, just those type of injuries, you don't really know. Just when you plant, what I'm saying? It wasn't a type of injury where you get rolled up, what I'm saying? So it was really a non-contact type of injury. But we've got a lot of depth at the running back position. And so that's one thing that we're real fortunate to have. I thought Hoggins came in, was very effective last night, made some nice cuts, made some nice runs. But then you got Jordan Wright, Raymond Calais got 2 runs last night, got a nice 7-yard gain. So we've got depth at the running back position, but obviously would hate to lose him.
Did you guys dial back a little bit with what you're doing with Nunez once you got the 14-point lead? Or?
Yes and no. We just we tried to still throw a couple balls that we felt like we had some good opportunities to complete and move the ball, some bigger chunk plays, but we just missed on a few of them. Whether it was a busted assignment here, busted assignment there, and we just really didn't get in sync for about 6 straight drives right there, and finally there in the second half we got back in the sync a little bit better, but didn't really change much. We would have liked to score some more points because even though we was up 14-0, you just never really felt comfortable, right there. But luckily our defense kept coming up with big stops and in some, especially the one right before half.
Andre have accuracy issues last night?
Maybe a little bit. He overthrew one corner route. We had a guy open, but he did have a drop. He had a drop on a little sprint out past. But even
some balls that were caught that were sort of behind.
Yeah, on a slant route, we had one ball that's dropped on a slant a little bit behind him. I sort of coughed a little bit of that up to first start on a short week. He didn't even get a full week of practice to get his first start in. And I think it'll be a great learning experience for him to go back and look at the tape and say, hey, boy, I really, could have been better here, could have been better here. And not necessarily just the throwing part. It was some things where we didn't go to the right receiver. We might have had some guys open. We had some guys open where we didn't get the ball to them because maybe we went to the wrong side of the field and didn't properly read the coverage. And so we missed on some other opportunities where we had some guys there.
So does he remain your starter, and how are you going to handle the reps this week?
We talked about it a little bit here right before I came into this meeting. We'll talk about it a little more today before we get back, or today and tomorrow, because we will not start practice until Sunday. And so, but we have not, really discussed it as a staff. So we'll know a little more on Tuesday.
Getting back to the accuracy issues, he seemed to kind of be a little happy feet in the pocket. Is that more of, could that have contributed to some of that? And how did the offensive line play?
I thought the offensive line played okay. I thought they protected pretty good. One thing I thought that Andre wasn't necessarily happy feet. I thought he was just stepping way too far up in the pocket. I thought at times he had good protection, but boy, he was pushing so far up in the pocket. He was coming to the offensive lineman's rear ends instead of them sort of sinking back to them. And so we've got to work on some fundamental things this week and clean some of those things up because at times we had a good pocket and he could have had a little more time if he hadn't have pushed so far up into the pocket.
Coach, you talked a little bit about Hoggins. Do you expect him to kind of take over from Mitchell, or is it going to kind of be a committee?
No, it'll be a little bit about committee, but he'll be the number 2 guy. He'll be the number 2 guy, and like I said, he was very effective last night, especially backed up. That's a second game in a row that we're backed up and need to finish the game out on offense, and we was able to punch the ball out, drive the ball quite a bit there to run some quality clock out, especially on our own 1 foot-yard line, and Hoggins had a lot to do with that.
Boudreaux, how much is just getting more snaps, get more experience, talking more with TJ?
Yeah.
How much is that?
A lot of that. Like you just nailed it right on the head, Tim. It's he's a freshman, and we felt like the more he played, the better he's going to get, and we all are probably like that in any job you do. The more experience you get. So now he's got quality reps under his belt now, and he's got confidence, and he's learning, and so I think he's only going to improve. He's going to be a really good player. He's a physical player, smart player. We've got to still develop some depth in some areas there, but he's definitely playing well.
Any chance you see Denarius Howard or Travis Crawford back this week?
Boy, sure hope so. Sure hope so. Don't know yet on either one of them, but that would be nice, just even for special teams. We just need, you get late in the season, a lot of guys are banged up, and your numbers are getting smaller, and you've got to have depth to have guys run down on punt team, run down on kickoff team, punt block team, kickoff return team, and then play defense. So we got a lot of guys going a lot of reps right now, and so it'd be nice to get some of those guys back.
Walker with the shoulder and Hunt?
Met a while ago with the athletic trainer. Both are fine, and we'll be good to go for next week.
I know you said you didn't watch the tape of them, but you've seen Hanson for the Arkansas State quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And he's moving up, on some watch lists and everything.
Yeah.
What does he present for you?
Well, they're going to throw the ball. I think one game this year they've thrown it 57, 60 times in one game. So they're going to air the ball out. And so, we're going to have to do a great job, not only in the secondary, but getting some pressure on that guy because he can spin it. And they've been real effective offensively. And so we'll have to do a really good job. So we got to get in there and get on the tape and come up with a great plan.
So obviously there's been a huge adjustment defensively. What did Jane Willis help with the coaches that maybe they weren't seeing before? What did the extra eyes do?
Well, I think just in the box, listening to the communication. You've got a guy out there with a lot of coaching experience in the box, talking back and forth with Mike, and so, and then obviously from the film study. So he's seeing things. Hey, hey Mike, just what it was right what we saw. You could just hear the communication. So it was quality communication between him and Mike and the defense staff on the field. Good recommendations, good talk back and forth, and but I just thought they called a good game, and I thought our defense played well, and like I said, I thought the defense staff as a whole came up with a great game plan, and the defensive guys did a great job playing hard and carrying it out.
You mentioned Melbrook, but Higgins made a play. Jeffries got behind the line a couple times.
Yeah.
To get contributions from guys besides who we seem to talk about all the
Right.
time, whether it's DeBoris or Posey or Chris Walker or whatever, how critical is that?
That was good. That was good to see a lot of guys get involved. And we played a lot of guys last night. We played more guys last night than we played in the first 4 games. And that might have been a little bit of the reasons why we struggled earlier in the year. We weren't playing many guys. And we kept some guys fresh last night, rolled them in. You talking about Malbrook, talking about Terrence Jones. And Roderick Stevens played a little bit last night. I think he got 15 reps. And so you talked about Benny Higgins played quite a bit last night. So we rolled some guys in, was able to keep some guys fresh. And we still probably played Joe Denton a little too much. And so that group has been active. And we felt like coming into the season that the defensive line was going to be a strength of the team. But I just think we sort of had our handcuffs on them a little bit early in the year. And now I feel like our staff is sort of taking the handcuffs off those guys, and they're being way more productive.
How big is it to get a couple wins now that you've got to play 3 in a row with 2 pretty big conference games?
Yeah, I think that's going to add a lot for our confidence and just for your team, and 2 big wins, and especially in a short period span, especially coming back from Idaho, having to travel to Idaho first of all, getting a big win on the road there, and then coming all the way back, with everything we went through with the flight delays and getting back late on Sunday, getting a late start on everything. Worrying about having a tired team on Thursday, so we tried to pull back, and I thought we looked pretty good. I thought we showed pretty good energy, pretty good juice throughout the football game. So coming back and getting another win 5 days later was a big shot in the arm for us, and now we're 2-1 in the conference and right in the hunt for where we want to be. And so, but a lot of football left to be played, and a lot of great teams on our schedule. There's this conference this year. You just saw with South Alabama beating Troy. Anybody in this conference can beat anyone, and so it's going to be a huge challenge coming up this week.
You are
Sorry?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Oh. Yeah.
You're halfway home now. Accomplishments compared to expectations, and what do the expectations become going forward?
Well, as far as meeting our expectations, we didn't meet them. We really felt like at this time, we could be 5-1. And looking back, if we'd played defensively the way we played last 2 weeks, yeah, I think you could legitimately say that we could be 5-1 right now. But the point of the matter is we're 3-3, but we're a game better than we were at this point last year. Last year at this point we were 2-4, so we're a game better than we were last year. We're 3-3, 2-1 in the conference, and hopefully we can build on this success. But it's still one game at a time. It's still a lot of work left to be done. We're going to have to play awfully well for the rest of these games. The Arkansas State game is always a very emotional game for our players, always a big game for our players, and they love that competition. And obviously going to their place, it'll be a tough environment to go play. And so we'll have to have a great week of practice, and we'll have to go play awfully well.
Why has that developed into the rivalry it seems to have?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think maybe one of the reasons is our game seemed to be always, in the past, there was always something riding on it. Our first year here in 2011, we played for the conference championship at their place. And then for every year, from then on, every game had a lot of things riding on it, I should say. And so it's always seemed to be obviously the big game of the year for us in the fact that both teams are pretty high up in the conference standings at the moment. And then every game seems to be very competitive, coming down to the last few seconds or the last minutes of the game. And so both fan bases like competing against each other, and these fans and these teams have been going against each other for a long time, longer than some other teams in the conference. It might be new to the conference, and so these are 2 of the older members of the Sun Belt Conference, and so that probably leads a little bit to it also.
You talked about the Idaho road trip and concerns with a short week and stuff. With that in mind, how important was that fast start Thursday night to put the other team back on their heels?
That was critical, just to get off to that type of start, to get some confidence. Would have loved to maybe got another score to maybe try to push that game, out of reach. But you know what? They've been pretty good against the run. Not as much against the pass, but they've been pretty solid against the run, and they showed why. And but we once again offensively had 0 turnovers, so we played sound. We just didn't probably execute like we would have liked for a few drives throughout the middle of the game, but got back on track late and was able to put the game away. Yeah, our flight was delayed 2.5 hours. So we sat in the indoor facility after the game was over for 2 hours and just ate our chicken box and just hung around. So they was nice enough to leave the lights on for us, and everybody just sat around on the field and in the stands, and then we busted to the airport.
What time did you get back?
4:30. We landed at 4:30, so the kids probably got in their dorms around 5 o'clock, 5:30 Sunday morning.
And schedule-wise, usually wouldn't you be having a walkthrough tonight or something?
Yeah, typically this is a Sunday for us,
Right.
and so we come over, we get a lift in, we get a team meeting, then we watch the game with our players.
Right.
Then we go for an hour practice in the stadium. But since we've had the short week and the kids are, just a lot on them, we're going to take the practice off tonight.
Okay.
And come back, start our Tuesday practice on Sunday.
Talk about just catching your breath after
Yeah.
the long travel, short week. And now you kind of have the advantage with Arkansas State being, they play tomorrow and
Mhm.
they've got to turn around. But just how important is it for your team to catch its breath?
Well, we need to, but it's not much time to catch our breath. Like I told our team, we play next Thursday. Now, there's no time to catch our breath now, but after that one, we'll have 2.5 weeks. We play on Thursday, and then we don't play to 2 Saturdays after that. So that's 16 days in between games, which is a very long break. And so they'll get some quality time off during that break. But until then, it's DEFCON 1 alert until next Thursday.